Time now for First Alert Weather with meteorologist Rob Nucatola.
Well, good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Got some pretty warm temperatures for the end of September, for the last day of September. Made it to 91 in places yesterday. Probably going to get someplace close again this afternoon. The warm, the muggy is not going away. And that likely means the overnight temperatures tonight into tomorrow are going to be similar to what we have this morning. And that's not going to feel very October-ish. Now, I don't see a lot going on satellite radar composite. There are some clouds. We had a couple of showers pop up in a few spots, brief ones in most areas yesterday. We're likely going to find a couple more at times again today. It's 70 in Thomasville. It's 71 in Tallahassee, so a bit on the warm side. We see those dew point numbers upper 60s. We'd like all these numbers to come down a little bit to start feeling more like fall. I don't think it's happening, not today, and really not most of this week. We're going to have all this warm, humid air in place, and there is still all this tropical moisture to our south that's sort of lingering across the Gulf and the Gulf Coast and the southeast, and that's going to make it hard for things to dry out, clear out, and cool off. So we're probably in for a warmer than normal setup all week long. It is nice that that 64 is up there in Blakely. Quincy, we're close at 68. That's probably more in tune with where we should be. But in Perry, we're at 73. In Apalachicola this morning, we're at 79. There isn't much of a breeze out there. It's going to be out of the south or southwest today. If we do have one, I think this morning we can find some spots where there's going to be some fog, especially in some of our eastern areas, but also in Thomasville. Our visibility is down below 1 mile. Now, there isn't anything that jumps off the page here on the satellite radar composite picture. We've got that residual moisture across the southeast. There is clearer, drier, cooler across the middle of the country, but that's going to have a tough time getting here. So for the next couple of days, it's really going to be more of the same, and that likely will be more sun than clouds, and that's what will get those temperatures climbing up near 90. It will stay kind of muggy, especially in the overnights and early mornings, but even in the afternoons, you're going to feel some of that humidity, and that breeze will be fairly light, so I don't think we're going to get a whole lot of relief from a cooling breeze or anything. And all in all, can't rule out a couple of showers, but I'm not expecting any kind of widespread soaking rain. So these next few days, kind of meh with the forecast, and that's probably the way it's going to stay for most of this week. Now, there's been a lot of chatter about the tropics. It is active out there. There's so much going on. We've got 2 named storms and almost named one, right? So number 12 is out there with Joyce and Isaac. None of those going to impact any land areas at all. Behind number 12 is actually another piece of energy that's got some potential. And then, of course, the one that everyone is most interested in is what's going on in that same source region where Helene came from. And right now it's nothing. It's just an elongated area of lower pressure. It's got some clouds and showers at times, but there's not a lot of organization. Now, that's not to say something can't form here in the next few days. Something certainly could. It's a very ripe source region for this time of the year, but there's nothing here that is even in the stages of development yet. We just have enough disturbed weather where we want to watch this area, and that's why the tropical outlook puts this up to about a 50-50 chance over the next week. Not much of a chance over the next couple of days. And even if something does develop here, where it goes would still be in question. So there's no guarantee of any kind that something is forming or something is coming in our direction. At points at the end of last week, one of the computers was maybe sort of hinting at that, but that computer has since changed its mind. And that's what happens with these longer range computers. They come up with solutions and then something changes and they have a different solution. And until you start seeing the same thing for several days, it's really hard to buy any of what that computer is talking about, especially when you're 6, 7, 8 days down the road. So nothing to get worried about just yet. Of course, if anything changes, we'll let you know. On the Gulf today, winds out of the southwest and west 5 to 15, seas 1 to 3 feet. We'll put a little light chop in the protected waters. Maybe a few 60s, more 70s this morning, muggy. The rain chances are going to perk up to like 30-40%. I don't think everybody gets wet. I do think we all get close to 90. We'll go with a mixture of clouds and clear. Tonight stays muggy, back near 70. Keep the rain chances small, but not zero. And over the next 7 days, I think our rain chances are going to perk up towards the end of the week. There's going to be plenty of disturbed weather and plenty of tropical moisture, so got to figure that's going to factor into the forecast at some point. Whether or not something organizes, unlikely, but I certainly can't say it's zero. For these next couple of days, decent sunshine, better shots at 90. For the second half of the week, feels like more clouds and keeping it in the 80s.